Good morning. Good morning, guys. Woo! A little early. That's okay. We try to get these knocked out as quickly as possible, or as early as possible, because got a lot of stuff going on at the Ortiz household on Saturday morning. We're still getting settled in the move. A lot of things happening. But today, this is episode number 10, guys. Something to smile about Saturday. No selling, no coaching, no training. Just giving you some good information to help you smile. And today we're going to be talking about prevention, the best cure for addiction, guys. And so what if the best way to keep your kids away from drugs wasn't a cure at all, but prevention? On this Saturday morning, something to smile about, we're diving in deep into the playground on how strong family connections, positive activities, and healthy role models can help prevent addiction, guys. And so we're going to explore how those small actions can make a big difference in raising drug-free kids and why prevention is the ultimate cure. I'm going to go ahead and not only add addiction and drugs, but depression and not knowing, right, the anxiety. There's a lot of young people out there with depression and with worry and anxiety and all this stuff that's happening to them. Guys, we're fixing to nail it out because, guys, we're going to be talking about how, it's a serious topic. I get it. I don't want to make light of it. But preventing addiction is huge, right? I'm going to go ahead and read here because it's a really short story, but it was said that the former drug czar, William Bennett, says that we can do some things to prevent our kids from ever experimenting with drugs. According to him, check this out, children who have good lines of communication with their parents, who attend church regularly and engage in extracurricular activities such as sports, band, the debate team, chess team, whatever, seldom, if ever, try drugs. He encourages us to keep the kids busy and to remind them that they are moral and spiritual beings. He says that to tell them that drug abuse is a degradation of character and of the spirit. So something that's not worthy of them. And so drug authority Dr. Forrest Tennant adds a couple of significant thoughts. He says that order in a person's life is most helpful. Order in a person's life is most helpful. He recommends structure and a schedule centered on positive activities, things such as eating meals with the family. Have we gotten away from that? When was the last time your entire family sat down to have a meal together? Having regular times to go to bed and to get up, and setting aside a definite time to study are very helpful to young people. He also points out that you can teach kids what you know, but you will reproduce who you are or what you are. If you experiment with drugs, chances are much higher that your children will experiment with drugs and perhaps become addicts. Stephen F. Arterburn says that if people aren't responsible in their personal life, there's a very good chance they are also irresponsible at work. Specifically, Dr. Tennant goes on to say that if your child, if they see you drinking beer or cocktails, as far as they're concerned, you're taking something to reframe your thinking. I would say coping, whatever. They will view that as a desirable, and the concept of drug use becomes acceptable to them. Dr. Tennant also points out that tobacco and alcohol are invariable the entrance drugs to illegal drugs. This fact is reinforced in an issue of U.S. News and World Report, which states that there is a seldom, if ever, a case of a person getting involved in illegal drugs who did not start with tobacco and or alcohol. William Bennett's suggestion, combined with Dr. Tennant's thoughts, are marvelous guidelines and something for every parent to consider, guys. Again, families, companies, neighborhoods should stick together as a community, right? Remember, I love what he says here. Remember, the banana rarely gets skinned. The banana only gets skinned when it gets away from the bunch. We don't drink. We don't drink. Have I had a drink? Yeah. There's a whole story behind that. I've accidentally drunk a Texas tea. I don't have time to go into it here. But seriously, guys, and so we're going to unpack that because really when you start to look at Dr. Bennett's or William Bennett's advice, kids have, when we had that strong line of communication with their parents, what's going to happen is that they're going to feel comfortable in sharing that information with you. It's all about keeping the kids engaged and reminding them that they are those moral and spiritual beings. And so you have to be able to tell the kids the drug abuse, what's beneath that drug abuse, right? That's just the fun part, but they don't tell you the effects afterward. It's just not, right? That there's a quote that Franklin D. Roosevelt said, right? Frankie, we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. So ask yourself, right? Here's going to be the challenge question. Ask yourself, are you keeping the lines of communication open with your kiddos? Are they involved in positive activities that give them purpose and structure? I mean, I don't know. What is it? It's different for every family, right? My daughter and I, we got into chess, and she got really good to the point that she almost beat me. I think she's beaten me once. We need to kind of take that back up again. Pickleball was another thing we got into. Excited about the indoor pickleball that we're going to be having here in our community. And so it's crucial to have that structure because it prevents that drug use. And so kids thrive on a schedule. They may not like it, but they thrive on a schedule, right? Mr. Ziegler said it the other day. We quoted it last week or this past week, right? Take a train off the tracks. It's free, but it's not going anywhere. We talked about the playground story where there was a wide open field, the playground. They noticed that the kids would stick close to the playground. But then they went in and put a fence around it, and the kids spread out because they felt safe. That's what you're doing, is you're creating a safe space, an environment for them to feel free to have that open line of communication, guys. And so whether it's at mealtime, whether it's at bedtime or study time, you want to create that schedule for them because you have to be the role model, right? Dr. Tennant, his most powerful insight was that while you can teach them what you know, they're going to become, right? Kids, how can I say this? More is caught than is taught. That's just the fact. That more is caught than is taught. You can say what you want to, but they're going to do what you do. Guilty. And so kids are the great imitators, right? And if parents are drinking alcohol or using drugs, kids see it as a way to change your mindset, making the drug use more acceptable, guys. And so Stephen Covey said it this way: what you do has far greater impact than what you say. It really does. It really, really does. So what are you modeling? What are your kids seeing you do? And what are the behaviors that your kids are watching you? And are those behaviors and what they're watching things that you want them to follow? I mean, what's the structure? What's the routine that you can add to your household that sets them up for success and doesn't become a stumbling block or the doorway to illicit and illegal drugs? Again, I get it. We hang around some really nice people, really nice Christian people, but they like their sips. They like their alcohol. All I'm saying is we don't have it in our house. We don't have it in our household. You can do what you want to with that, but I'm just going off of, and some of these people are very smart, very educated people, but what they don't realize is that their kids are watching. The kids are watching. I remember Monsters, right? Someone's always watching. And so he went on to say that if you allow that into your home, the kids are going to see that as, you know what, that's okay. Maybe just a little bit. But guys, maybe they won't be able to control it like you do. And so by discouraging tobacco and alcohol use early, you're closing the door to that potential for illegal drug use down the line, guys. I mean, kids are going to be kids. I get it. I understand. But you have to be able to be taking those measures to prevent it, right? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, Benjamin Franklin said. And so how are you addressing tobacco and alcohol in your household? How are you addressing depression and anxiety and worry in your household? So to make sure you're not sending mixed signals by using substances while telling your kids to avoid them. I I know, I get it. You know, take out the beam in your own eye before you start to talk to me about the speck in my own. I get it. I understand. It hit home with me too, guys. I can't make this stuff up. Mr. Ziegler wrote this many, many years ago. All I'm doing is reading it and just giving you my insight into it. And so just in recapping here with this thing, the insight is incredible, right? Keeping that communication strong, setting the routines, being a role model, and discouraging the gateway, right, to drugs like alcohol and tobacco. It's a powerful way to prevent them, because really, if you even go back and look at anxiety and depression, they often say that that's the opposite of happiness, and that's not true. The opposite of happiness is not depression. The opposite of depression is purpose. If you find purpose, if you know your purpose, you will find happiness. You will find joy. It's one of those things where a lot of the kids don't know what they don't know. There's some grown kids that don't know what they don't know. Thursday of this week, we went and talked to a group out in Lindale, and it's amazing. These are grown individuals. They've already been through life. Life has been hard on them. But with the little bit of information, again, I kept it super simple, super simplistic. It was very profound, and we ended that meeting with praying for a young lady. Oh, I say young lady. She's got a 14-year-old son that she wants me to talk to about purpose, about helping them find their purpose. And there's structure. There's something about having structure in your life that's going to allow you to have that, so be the role model that your kids need, and create that environment that keeps them focused on their potential, not only the temptation, not on that temptation, because the temptation's always going to be there. I know my coach is, one of his favorite scriptures is, count it all joy when you fall into the divert. No, not me. I don't want to be anywhere near it. I know what it is. I know it's good. I don't want any part of it, because it's only going to be good for that day. And so don't be that banana that gets away from the bunch. You'll only get skinned. So what's the mindset, motivation, and the methodology behind this, right? The prevention is the best cure for addiction. That's plain and simple. Communication, structure, and role modeling are key to keeping our kids away from the drugs, away from the anxiety, away from those pills, away from that depression. And so motivation, show your kids that drug use is beneath their character and their spirit. Keep them engaged in positive activities and provide that structure in their lives. And then the methodology is very simple. Lead by example. What you do matters more than what you say. And so if you are partaking in tobacco, if you are consuming alcohol, get it out of your house. Get it out of your house. Prevent that gateway to drugs, because again, they're watching. They're always watching. Hey guys, this has been your playground guy, Johnny One, here on Something to Smile About. Hope this has brought a little smile to your face. If it hasn't and you got challenged, hey, I'm just saying, give yourself something to smile about and get rid of that junk in your home. Adios, amigos. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Thank you for joining me on this 10th episode of Something to Smile About Saturday. We will see you guys here bright and early Monday morning. TGIMM. Adios.